Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Oceanside Library's Poetry Near and Afar. We have with us joining from the wilds of Maryland, Hiram Larew. And so without any further ado, we're going to start with Hiram.
Thank you, Tony. And it's good to see everyone here. I hope you all are enjoying the same kind of weather that we are here in Maryland, which is tending to act a little bit more like it should, spring, and that's a welcome. It's good to see Julian here from points very afar, and I know it's middle of the night, I believe, or maybe even early morning for him. So extra effort, gold star for attending. And it's good to see Emily Sue and the rest of you too. And of course, Judy and Linda and David and other friends. So I thought what I would do is share, I don't know, about 8 or 9 poems, something like that. Um, and in the middle, some of you have already heard this public service announcement, but on the chance that some of you haven't, might interrupt the poems with a very brief public service announcement. So I'll go ahead and dive in here, and I think I'm going to work at share screenings. Many of these poems are from my newest collection called This Much. The collection's called This Much Vary. It just came out uh, in January from Alien Buddha Press. Others that I'll be sharing with you tonight are from earlier collections. And if you want any kind of information about any of those collections of poems, you can visit my website. That's just Hiram Larew Poetry, all one phrase, Hiram Larew Poetry.com. So let me cue up this first poem, which appeared in the Rumen, and it's all about kind of what I would call an overstuffed, overfilled horn of plenty. See if I've got it here. Yeah. It's titled Abundance. Come every blackboard and mud pile. Come curved roads or weed seeds. Come twig tips or what's wicked. And back alleys and soup bowls. Come one, then come all. And come hope inside sadness. Come moonlight or muskrats. Come quasars and scriptures or mummies and spaceships. Come card tricks and washcloths, and especially bees. Let them arrive overflowing, followed by old barns or cousins that come running or crawling or spinning, and then come ivy and fleas. Yes, come tragic or wondrous, like graveyards or new nests. Come doors flung wide open by wind and lost keys. Come ribbons and wild dogs. But most of all, please come backwards and forwards from sudden to languish. Come awful and magic and cussing and creeds. So, poem titled Abundance. And then this poem is all about gratitude. It first appeared in Poetry Buzz. And, I should have said at the outset, I apologize to some of you who've heard some of these poems. Hopefully your ears won't reject them on the basis of hearing them again. So this one is, it is about gratitude or not being grateful enough. And it's titled Wilt or Strife. I am incredibly. Even this haze knows it. Even my useless gaze says so in every way. To be where I am now, living like this, is like cherries on a branch. In fact, I'm not nearly grateful enough for this mud or for its reasons, not thankful enough for fences blown down or kinked hoses. No, I don't deserve porches. In fact, I need to tip my hat in love, in honor to every buzzing swarm that's coming at me, or to any wilt or stray. And I should surely thank my lucky stars, my blessings, for what last night had its way with the row of beans out back in the garden. So, not being quite grateful enough. And this one is just a titch older. It appeared in my not most recent, but next to most recent collection, Patchy Ways. And it's all about mornings in the country. It first appeared in Fevers of the Mind. It's titled With. So imagine you're kind of walking countryside road with open air is all my heart and beckon shirts my days. What wildly loves grows in clumps like me, or tufts the rain, as ditches seep what never fails. This open air is my kiss, and birds grab straws that plays as out beyond flies upside down. While side by side, my simples tend the leaves, and homes of home are made. In open air is my love, and steps to gathered shores my heart. This now to then embrace, these boots of sprouts or with these dripping brims, my twines of time that play. I moved not too, well, a few years back out to kind of a rural setting, and I've been in love with it ever since being here. Okay, so this next poem is a little bit, there's a little bit of a variation on the theme here. I'm going to read it first, and then it's going to be read one more time, and I'll explain what I mean by that in just a minute. It's, I guess you'd say, an unadulterated love poem. It's titled Clatter. Love me in the very same way that the word unbeknownst sounds in midair. Yes. Or just like how spires climb to the very top, and then even beyond, soaks slip or noons drift. And as far as puddles can jump, love, to love me like that, and love me as if handshakes were grins, or as when echoes find their tunnel. Love me like those birds that love diving and corners, or just like sunlight is love as it teases the cupboards. Love me in all those ways and more. And with sashes open, love me now, but also then. And as much as when lunch is served, with all of that back and forth and clatter, yes, love me as surely as cups that will spill, or then above, with nights excel. When listening turns to dreams, love me like the swirling din within the word bound. Okay, and now I'm going to present the poem in a slightly different form. This is a special video, special because it comes from Zimbabwe. I've been fortunate enough over the last few years to appear on a journal that several young Zimbabwean poets have created called the Sailors Review, founded by Haku Pikepi. In this video, one of the poet sailors, Dr. Tembi Tanya, reads that poem that I just read for you, Clatter, in her beautiful Zimbabwean accent. So let me see if I can get it queued up here for us and see if it will behave. Here we go. And let me do this. And hopefully the sound, I'll try to turn the sound up. You may need to adjust the sound a little bit on your own computer. I think she speaks pretty loudly, but just in case, you may need to turn it up. If you could give me a thumbs up, if you can hear her as I start the video, that would be great.
Today we are going to be reading poetry.
Yes, can hear her very well.
As the Sailors Review team, initiated by Dr. Hiram Larew, based in the United States of America. The reading is being taken from his anthology, Mad Ajar. And the Sailors Review team is comprised of Tatenda Murangi, aka Sivuko, in absentia, Martin Chivaku, aka at the scripter, Brian Manyati, aka Towanda Ryan, and we are hashtag Sailors Translate. This is Dr. Tembitanya, and I'll be reading the poem titled Clatter by Dr. Hiram Larew. Love me in the very same way that the word unbeknownst sounds in mid-air. Yes, oh, just like how spires climb to the very top. And then, even beyond soap sleep or noon's drift, and as far as poodles can jump, love to love me like that. And love me as if handshakes were greens, or as when echoes find their tunnel. Love me like those birds that love diving and corners, or just like sunlight is love as it teases the cupboards. Love me in all those ways and more, and with the sashes open. Love me now, but also then, and as much as when lunch is served. With all of that back and forth and clatter. Yes, love me as surely as cups that will spill. Or then above, with nights excel, when listening turns to dreams. Love me like the swelling din within the word abound.
So that was Dr. Tembitanya. And I know I know I'm just a titch uh, biased, but I really do enjoy hearing her lovely, lovely accent and her hand expressions. All that to say, if you should ever have a chance to, you know, work with somebody who can read your poems for you, perhaps in English, but in their native accent, I would encourage you to do it. It's just been a wonderful treat to hear and cooperate with these young Zimbabwean poets. So I just have a few more poems here, and we'll finish up. Oh, let me share screen one more time because, as I promised and threatened, here is a brief public service announcement about Poetry X Hunger. Now, as I said, many of you have been good enough to contribute your talents and your poems to Poetry X Hunger. Linda, Judy, several of you folks have. Emily Sue, and but some of you maybe haven't had a chance to yet. So all this to say, we're using poems to fight hunger. Another way of saying it is we're turning poems into food. And if you should have a poem about empty stomach hunger and would like to share it, all you need to do is to go to the Poetry X Hunger website. That's just poetryxhunger, one phrase.com. And up in the right hand side or right hand corner of the menu, there's a submission guidelines um, available, and you can follow those. They're very, very easy. We'd love to see your work. We've used these poems to raise about $12,000 thus far for anti-hunger groups. And we've also used the poems to raise awareness in that one of the poems by Josephine Larew in Canada was picked up by Feed the Children, incorporated into a YouTube video that has been viewed by about 170,000 folks online. So we truly are trying to put these poems to you. So join us if you can and send us your poem about hunger. So the next poem first appeared in a journal called Poetry Catalog. And it's all about my love of mistakes. It's titled Wrong Things. I need to listen more to wrong things. Yes, I need to let talk. That's hard. Get close to me. I need to believe in the truth of burned up dinners and take lessons from dogs that sneak by with ticks. In fact, the only way I'll learn probably is from an animal that's hurt or from a kid who's achy scared. Yes, the hollow sounds they make turn my shivers into wisdom. So with all of that in mind, I think I'll turn my back on those surest things in life because it seems along comes a mistake or bams of angry lightning and what had been neat and locked down plate splits apart wide open all at once with concerns, but yes, with revelations. And here's one that shifts the mood just a titch. It was first in a journal, first appeared in a journal called the Freedom Express. And I wrote it a while back. It may be somewhat relevant today. It's titled Well. You want angry? I'll give you angry. I'll get you hair burning, mice squealing, toe broken angry. I'll throw it off the roof angry. Smack the moon till it's blue and gray. I'll spit words out like a rabid fox and jab angry in the eyes. Yes, indeed, I'll make angry great. You just wait. 20 years from now, they'll still be hollering up and down about my country called Angry and how I discovered it in my boat called Pissed Off, flying its flag with a finger up the middle. So, if you want Jolly Holly, then keep wiping till you find it. But if you want Angry, I'll be right here, looking like a fist and grinning as sweet as bloody nose pie. So as I said, just a tad bit different tone. This, I think, next to last one, I believe, or maybe two from the last. You have to imagine yourself being in Kansas or the central U.S. In the 1940s. This poem first appeared in River Road Poetry Anthology, and it's titled Wheat Dust. Only thing I can think of as bad off as me is harvest. Yes, it's as flat as my face and just about as friendly as a dead rock. I'm making anything out of this wheat dust, if you will. Someone said just yesterday that my eyes look, well, of course they do, from no water. Crows can tell you as much. They're not gone. No rain, and they're gone. They've got good sense. Fact is, they flew off months ago when the going was good, when I was still sleeping on the old box springs, for the love of it. But not anymore. Let me say once again about what joy it is to be sleeping flat on the floor, right down there with the mice and their musties. I tell you, if I didn't have Jimmy, I'd leave too. Damn, I would. Something will.
All right, great.
And Tony, do I have just time for a couple more, or should I end it?
We've got time for one more. We're
One
a
more.
little over
Okay.
time, but
Okay. Sorry
fine.
about that.
No,
Okay,
no,
let me
no,
skip.
no.
Let me
It's
skip
been
here.
great.
Actually, I think this is the last one. So here's again, these days and times I have to imagine a little bit beyond, or I say even above the headlines. This one is a love poem to the moon. It first appeared in Right Now Lit, and it's titled To the Limit. Someone asks what I would fight for. Well, I'd fight for the moon in a heartbeat. With its halo of wisdom, its cloud cover of guests, and its wish to, even its merely. Yes, I'd march for its glowing, and I'd defend the moon with longings, with anything I could muster, no limits, to keep it up over for harvests or phases, even for no one. Then, if allowed to, I'd rejoice in its quiet apart from that always wins me. For as long as what matters lets me, the moons mix of far away, but right there, all gathered around. Thank you, Tony, and sorry I went over.
No, you kidding, dude. This was absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much, everybody. Unmute yourselves. Give Hiram a great big round of applause. This is great. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Wonderful, Hiram.
Thank you.
Wow, beautiful.
Appreciate it. Appreciate everyone being here.
Absolutely. It was great. All right, we're going to do our open mic now. Everybody gets to read one non-epic length poem. And if you do not want to read for any reason, please just put that in the chat. Robert, you're up, and Linda, you're on deck.
Tony, and thank you, Hiram. That was a wonderful reading.
And actually, Robert, before you start, as you guys step up to read, just tell us where you're calling in from.
I'm calling from Palo Alto, California. Bootstraps. Next time someone self-described, self-made, self-righteous asserts their having pulled themselves up by their bootstraps, without fear nor favor, all by their solid solo selves, through dint of nothing but their own wits and will and sweat-stained work ethic, demand to know or politely inquire, where did these bootstraps come from? Were they a gift, inherited, stolen? Did someone else make them and someone else simply sell them to you? If you made the bootstraps yourself, who taught you how to do it? Did you take a bootstrap making class at a community college? Did you view a how-to YouTube video? Who made the video? Did you slaughter an animal to make genuine leather bootstraps? Did you then personally engage in the leather making? Who taught you how to make leather? Did you dispose of the leather making waste responsibly? Not much point to bootstraps without boots, so where did your boots come from? Remind us again, what exactly have you done solo? Exactly. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Robert. That's great. Appreciate that one. Linda, you're up, and Sharon, you're on deck.
Thank you, Tony, and thank you, Hiram. Your use of language mystifies and stupefies me. Thank you so much. This is called Your Lacrimatory. Ground by the sands of Jerusalem, Aqua Vial received her offering, pressed to her tear ducts. When the music swelled, when the words were right, when overcome with pure delight, when the lost were found, when the sick were healed, when the hidden blessing was revealed, when I felt your hand, when the Spirit moved, when the pain and hurt to you removed. Those tears of joy, my jar now filled, for you to pour, for you to spill. Revive the dead, take down the wrong, like David's pebbles, make us strong. Like a river flowing to the sea, rife with joy. Carry me.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Sharon, you're up, and Julian, you're on deck.
Hi, I'm Sharon, and I'm from Brooklyn, New York. And all the poems were so lovely. I call this one here, Honoring Women's History Month. Harriet Truman, Mother Teresa, Rosa Parks, Mahalia Jackson, Barbara Walters, Michelle Obama, Kamala Harris, Hillary Clinton, Shirley Chisholm, Diana, Princess of Wales, Toni Morrison, Maya Angelou, Serena Williams, and Simone Biles, And there are so many more women that represent a legacy of unparalleled achievements. Women who have had an impact on the world. These women, along with others, have accomplished monumental milestones, subsequently paving the way for generations to come. And I honor the contributions of these legendary trailblazers. But the women who have had the most impact in my life are my mother, my grandmother, and my great-grandmother. These women were phenomenal. They were a fantastic crew that led the way in my journey. They were my guides to see me through, always holding my hand tight through the valley, making sure that I stepped over and around the thorns, always there for me, even when I no longer needed to hold their hands. They were always smiling, even at times when things seemed to fall apart. Always were able to forgive when someone troubled or tried to break their heart. They never let a problem weigh them down. They always kept standing. They resisted all the temptations because they had a secret ingredient. They were women of God. They were there for me through the years, warning me of the hazards along the way. My greatest benefits was the three of them. Their strength and love guided me and gave me the love and courage and faith that I have today. Their vision was that my life would be better than theirs. Through every fear and every trial, my mom was right there, and my grandmother was always near, and my great-grandmother was always a phone call away. They had the most impact in my life, so they get the Mobile Prize.
There you go. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Very nice. Great, great, great. All right, Julian, you're up, and Gerald, you're on deck. Julian. I had Julian. Where's Julian? Did I lose Julian? Looks like I lost Julian. Sorry about that. Gerald, you're up, and David Dickman, you're on deck.
Okay, coming to you from the heart of flyover country here in Winterset, Iowa. Poem is When a Poet Doesn't Sleep. Your muse has another partner. Tonight, the words will not work. You make popcorn, watch old movies, laugh and cry. Write letters to past lovers, never to send. Notes to people you have not met, to leave on tables or in books. Stand in the driveway, search the stars for old friends. Go for 24/7 coffee, the voices of other night people. Drive hours, talk into darkness, juggle words and memories. Convince yourself you're not lonely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great poem. All right. David, you're up, and Emily Sue, you're on deck.
Helps if I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. The prompt was wild violets. Among the immaculate green of uniformed lawns marching down this suburban street, you will find my patch of nonconformity. Deep in its jungle of willful defiance, among the clover and the dandelions, hides the purple majesty of the wild violets.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right, Emily Sue, you're up, and Melissa, you're on deck.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you, Hiram. That was a wonderful reading. I'm going to read one called Growing Older. In faded memories, I finally see we were all still evolving into ourselves. We put on public faces of certainty, adult pretenders fumbling for the light switch, any sign of success, when all we really had to be was alive and human, able to hold angst and anger, pain and love in outstretched hands. We hid behind every clumsy encounter, fended off clashing ideas and piercing emotions, pushed for clarity in the fog of living, in the spaces pried open by brushes with authority and power, hushed undercurrents of fear. So now, as storms break through our walls, can we rage, rage as Dylan Thomas did against the dying of the light?
Wonderful. Thank you. All right, Melissa, you're up, and Rick, you're on deck.
Thank you. Beautiful poetry, everyone. I'm Melissa Longo from New York. And
There you go.
this is my friend, the Kalimba. I do impromptu poetry. So right now I actually have something in my mind. Agape. So many poets have poems on agape. And finally, I have written one. It has appeared before me in my mind's eye. I finally have the love of myself as well as others. I finally understand what real love, generous, wondrous love is. Agape. Everyone, every poet needs a poem about this wonderful feeling. Thank you. That's
Thank
all.
you very much. Thank you, Melissa.
You're welcome.
All
Thank
right.
you.
And thank you for bringing your friend along. All right, Rick, you're up, and Marvin, you're on deck.
Okay, first, it is great to be here and to see so many faces. I will tell you that that when you have a lot of grandchildren, I don't know why, but Monday evening seems to be the night that every grandchild play or string concert or choir concert happens, and so I'm pre-scheduled so often for this, but it is so great to be here. I'm going to read one tonight, sort of in honor of Hiram and everything that he does with food insecurity and stuff that's going on socially. It's a poem. I take my dog for walks a lot, and this was a scene we came upon, and came home and I wrote it, and it's called Eviction. The piano is the first thing I see. A Baldwin upright, its varnished skin dulled, the lid shut tight, as if it too has nothing left to say. It sits several feet from the apartment building entrance in the grass, surrounded by a life's worth of belongings. The keys, yellowing, chipped, still remember the weight of hands. A child's fingers stumbling through scales, a mother playing softly after dinner while someone washes dishes, a father in a recliner, eyes closed, humming along to a song only he remembers. But now it sits in the grass, its legs sinking into the February mud, surrounded by the wreckage of an emptied home, probably about 2 bedrooms worth. Concentric circles of hastily thrown possessions and furniture surrounding the piano, several large plastic garbage bags punctuating the upturned furniture, clothes clumped over broken boxes, a mattress folded in half like a book no one finished reading, a toaster, a single dress shoe, a poster of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And at the piano's crown, balanced as if someone placed it there with quiet deliberation, a family picture, a man, a woman, 2 children, A baby in the woman's arms. The father wears a suit too big for him. The mother's dress clings to her shoulders like something borrowed. The baby squints at the camera, eyes unfocused, as if already seeing the years ahead, the slow unraveling. Beside the picture, a martini glass, empty. A joke, maybe, or a last toast. It catches the light, refracts it, throws it back in pieces. It looks like the tableau of a 1930s cocktail party in the poor section of hell. Someone lived here. That much is certain. But how they left? Maybe they had to flee in the night, the mother pressing a hand over the baby's mouth as they slipped silently out through the door. Maybe the father had been drinking again, his voice thick with something mean, the way whiskey can make even a good man cruel. Maybe she knew this time he wouldn't stop at words. Maybe she woke the older children, whispered, "We're going on an adventure," bundled them into coats, leaving behind everything but their bodies, their breath, and what each could fit in a brown paper grocery bag. Or maybe it wasn't like that at all. Maybe they stayed, held on, believing some last-minute mercy would come, a neighbor with a spare room, a judge willing to listen. And when it didn't, when the sheriff's men came, the father stood in the doorway saying, but it's February. It's cold. My children." And the officer sighed, looking up from under his hat, and said, "I'm sorry, sir, but you got to go." Or maybe there was no father, maybe just a mother, young, undocumented, who came home from her shift at the Motel 6 where she cleaned the rooms to find the locks changed, an ice fan parked at the curb, neighbors watching from behind curtains. Maybe she screamed, pounded the door, pleaded in a language no one cared to understand. Maybe she dropped to her knees on the cold sidewalk and thought, this country is not for us. And yet the piano. Who had time to place the photo there? Who thought to set the glass down like punctuation? The way in movies someone leaves a single flower on a grave. A sign that says, I was here. We were here. We existed. My dog Bee tugs at her leash, nose to the ground, uninterested in ghosts. But I stand a little longer, listening, not to the street or the wind, but to the silence left behind. And if I listen hard enough, I swear I can hear it. The slow creak of the lid as someone lifts it, the soft clink of fingers on ivory, a song rising up, not as music, but as memory, fragile, unfinished, refusing to be lost. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much, Rick. Wow. Okay. Marvin, you're up, and Ronald, you're on deck.
Arthur Dimmesdale is the Protestant minister in Boston in The Scarlet Letter by Hawthorne. He has an affair with Hester Prynne, result as a child, Pearl. Hester's long-lost husband finally appears, suspects Arthur Dimmesdale, finally discovers it is Dimmesdale, and wants him to suffer slowly but surely. So the poem is called Roger. Suck, suck his blood, you leech. He has not paid enough for the horns he's placed upon your head, shaming your manliness with his. Leech away his vital juice, yellow as a yolk, for he took advantage of her loneliness and trust. Cowardly man, the Reverend, walking as if with the Lord's staff, slipping away from their knowing, but not from you, friend in form, fiend in purpose, plotting agony Promethean, no antidote, but only death by decree. You doctor him to eternal bloodletting.
Thank you, Marvin. All right. So we have Ronald up, and Randy, you're on deck. Ronald? Ronald may have stepped away, so we're going to go with Randy, you're up, and Larry McCoy, you're on deck.
Okay. All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So you've all heard of Shakespeare's Sonnet 18. This is Randy's Sonnet 92. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more blinding and more blistering. Although thou gust like desert wind, I stay, for deep within thy love is whispering. My dear, your Phoenix, Arizona hot. Oppressive heat is your identity. Thou might share many stifling thoughts, but I enjoy complete transparency. When moved by words that I articulate, thy piercing stare is like the blazing sun. Constricted eyes help thee communicate thy raging love that I've already won. Dear readers, ye may fairly chastise me, so I'm composing Sonnet 93. Poem.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Where are you calling from? Randy?
Long Island, East Setauket.
Oh, okay, great. Very good. So where was I? I apologize. Who do I have on deck?
Me, Larry.
Larry. That's right. You're here on the fold. That's the problem. I never want to be on the fold. Okay, so Larry's up and Jill, you're on deck.
I'm in Rockville Center. Just trying to help. The house next door is for sale, and I'm trying to speed up the process by chatting with folks I see taking a look at the place. These may need a bit of polishing, but here are some of the lines I've been using on prospective buyers. 1. Hi, let me just say that if you're into porno, I'm the guy to see around here. I've got tons of goodies for every, and I do mean every taste. 2. Just so you know, the previous owner always shoveled the snow off my sidewalk and my damn long driveway. 3. This is a pretty decent neighborhood with only one or two political morons marring things. I'll give you their names if you want them. 4. Look at it this way. This is your chance to live next door to a good-looking old guy. 5. I may look old to you, but I party a lot. Outdoors, indoors makes no difference. If you're one of those people who get all upset when there's a little smell of weed in the air, well, tough. I don't give a damn. Strangely, most folks I've talked to about any of the above don't seem to have been listening. Odd. Very odd. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. Okay, so now we've got Jill, you're up, and Marcia, you're on deck.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me, Tony, and thank you to Hiram and to all the other speakers. The name of my poem is Alert Circle. Wait, explain the narrative arc? Why? Why does every story, every day have to have a narrative arc? You know, the rising action leading to a climax, the apex of the conflict before the falling action resolves it, if possible. Every damn day, whether a mountain or a molehill, I wield my mallet as if at the arcade, holding it high above my head and whack away over and over and over again. I want no arc. I will even forego a climax for flat, please, easy breezy, effing lemon squeezy, like gliding along on a real live slip and slide of life. Like the people mover at the airport, keep going, no stopping, right side for contemplation, left for propulsion, ever forward, no going back, no U-turns allowed. Maintain a steady pace. Catch your breath. Love life for all it's worth until the next 5.2 magnitude earthquake rocks the earth and I get in place with my hands on Sisyphus's back and help him roll the boulder back up the hill as I watch the small group of African elephants on the 6 o'clock news at the San Diego Zoo receive the message through the pads of their feet that danger is coming. And without making a sound, they surround the smallest of the herd, the most fragile amongst them, each elder facing outward, protecting one of their own. Her stronger twin brother on the outer rim as well, trunk sweeping back and forth like a whip from side to side, securing the alert circle. 4 full minutes, safe and sound, guarding with attention until the tremors stop and they feel free to move. Everyone should have an elephant squad forming an alert circle around them when needed, no questions asked, tucking us in the epicenter of their beings, right in the middle of their love, while they face the outside world for a while. Going to let you guys handle this one, and then maybe the ride will be smoother, the seas calmer, the black diamond a bunny slope, and perhaps I can tackle the next hurdle or obstacle or challenge or difficulty or any other narrative arc. Thank you.
Tony, you're muted.
You're muted, Tony.
It's only been 5 years we've been doing this online. Marcia, you're up. Megan, you're on deck.
Thank you, Tony. And good night, everyone. I'm going to read a poem that I wrote. It's called Poetry Heals. And I did this for the Long Beach Poetry Festival. It's the wind and the sails that takes me away on a long, hot summer's day. The sound of water as it flows skips over slippery rocks where green moss grows. The way of a bird as it flies high in the skies, its wings gliding, mesmerizing. The satisfied purr of a Persian, they say, relieves pain and improves circulation. The garden I cultivate, sunflowers, bees, and apple trees, the winter I took to hibernate, my own world in which to create. The people in my community, the healers, preachers, spoken word divas, and word dancers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Marcia. It's always good to see you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
All
Tony.
right. So, Megan, you're up, and Dee Dee, you're on deck.
Thank you. I'm calling from Farmingdale, New York. This poem is called Boxes. A line meets a line, folds into meaning. Edges shape corners, whisper limits. A braille G, 4 dots, stacked like a box, holding sound in its frame, built to be read, hollow yet full. Boxes surround us, perched on porches, waiting, transformed into rocket ships by children, piled in attics, cradling keepsakes and mystery. For some, the only shelter against the world. We are boxes, crafting our sides with love, fear, perspective, perception, and joy. Memories pulse, tap against our walls, echo into the present. Thoughts box us in, lift our lids. We pack and unpack, smooth the creases, break down cardboard passed on, remade to become something new. Thanks.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much, Megan. That was great.
Thank you.
Okay. Dee Dee, you're up, and Bernardo, you're on deck.
Thank you, Tony. Hiram, thank you so much. What a wonderful reading, and everybody here, of course, always makes the evening special. I'm from Long Island, New York, and I'm going to read a poem called Organ Donor Wanted. Local church, Reformed synagogue, living, breathing, while you're here. Gift your belief systems with heavenly music. Pull out all the stops. Radio City Music Hall, remembering the organ player before there were Rockettes. Is he still there, coming up from the pit like a god come from the underworld to shed the glory of music on us all? Captive audience, mesmerized, never deliberating, not yet, our worth, dead or alive. Shh, he's playing the latest songs, words we could sing. At home, a favorite aunt would make requests. Sing that new song for me, honey. her organ long quiet. Bring your organ to church before it stops for good. Then give it away to the nearest God. He'll know what to do with it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, Bernardo, you're up, and Judy, you're on deck.
Tony said, but Bernardo said he's not reading this evening. He's having some technical trouble.
Yeah, no. Then he said he was back and he wanted to read.
Good.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, Didi, yes, I did say that, baby. But after seeing you and after meeting you personally, how can I come into a room where you are and not read? It's like friends. We're exchanging our emotions and our words, and of course, me and Hiram, we go way back. That's my guy. So anyway, fighting this technology thing, man, it's all over the place. Rick, good to see you, man. A powerful poem. I'm gonna read this poem I wrote about 6 years ago, and sometimes it feels haunting when you write something, and then you see things start to transpire, and you realize that, or even consider that you may have been a soothsayer. This poem comes from the book that I came to New York to sell. Was Bridge Over Aggravated Troubles. The poem is What About Puerto Rico? And this last weekend speaks loudly to this poem, testifies to it about what's going on in this country. Our country, 'tis of thee, a mystery of reasons. Collusions affected our elections, yet no one speaks of treason. So divided, we cannot hide it and can't see any movement. There's no persuasion in conversations, discrepancy and improvement. We don't agree in what we see or how we think or feel. Some enact alternative facts to challenge what is real. Life is hard in this regard. Who can we really trust? What is correct? Where is respect for every one of us? I know. But what about Puerto Rico? So many discussions all about Russians, but Congress takes its time. Their patriotism is a given while towing the party line. Our officials thwart potential to truly make us great. They side with greed, ignoring need, and barely deal with hate. Justice dwindles, racism rekindled, houseman on the porch. Very fine people see no evil, not by the light of the torch. Inciting danger, misplaced anger, shaming and blaming and such. Flip the focus. Statements are bogus. The truth is much too much. I know, but what about Puerto Rico? They complain you best refrain from disparaging our flag while marching with zeal through Charlottesville with stars and bars to brag. Or First Amendments, blurring resentments with guns spewing hatred and curses. And police kill almost at will, saying all they did deserved it. Unembarrassed the way they carry these statements, false, distorted, caught on tape, and still they make a lie the thing reported. I shake my head to clear the dread to not take on depression. With all that's given from television, sorting facts from questions. I know, but what about Puerto Rico? Polls are showing distress is growing and so too separation. We used to claim we were ordained a beacon for all nations. Now lights are dim. We look to him, have hopes to no avail. People are dying. He keeps lying. It feels like we have failed. Belittling tweeting keeps increasing. Staffers come and go. Unqualified hiring. He keeps firing, but this is no TV show. Secret meetings, twisted briefings, a cartoon world bizarro. Global warming, dictator warnings. Will we at sea tomorrow? People are dying, and he keeps lying. I know. But what about Puerto Rico? Thank you.
Thank you, Bernardo. Thank you very much. Okay. JR, you're up.
Thank you all. Thank you, Hiram. Oh, that was wonderful. Thank you, Tony. You know, you're keeping us in poetry. So this Thursday, the poetry community lost a very, very dear poet, a friend for over 30 years, Joan Maud Kirsten. But her family knows a poet. Her mass card has a prayer on one side, but a poem, one of her favorites, and one I helped her write and edit. And so this is a poem I wrote for Joan many years ago. Most appropriate, and she is in a much, much better place. And so, Pathway to Peace for Joan. 3 a.m. Can't sleep. Reliving the course of the day now set in concrete. No changing the past. I'm trying to let it go. My mind wanders to thinking of you. I'm smiling in the shadows that splay across my bedroom ceiling, wondering where we'd be if our paths hadn't crossed. If you hadn't found someone like me to fill the voids in your life, fill vacant chambers of your heart with love and friendship, if we'd both be wondering how to fulfill our shared destiny to find each other in a vast sea of people searching for something, for someone to share the secrets of their soul. And I'm grateful for the planets aligning, allowing us to meet, to nurture and grow a friendship into the treasure we possess. So many years of memories, so many tears of joy and sorrow, so much saving grace. I reach for the phone, reach out for you, one of only a few I could call at this limbo hour of yesterday spilling into the infancy of today, and know my disruption would be greeted as an open arm embrace. I turn over instead, you on my mind, and soon find the pathway to peaceful sleep. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Judy. Yeah, Joan was amazing. What a kind and warm person. Yeah, just she absolutely will be missed. I think we've had a couple of passings this winter that we'll acknowledge when we get to the gazebo. But thank you for bringing her up tonight. And I apologize for having missed that. All right, everybody. Well, on that note, let me do this. On that note, we're going to close for the evening. I want to thank everybody. Hiram, absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. That was a very special reading. We appreciate it very much. Thank you all. I wish you all a very safe and healthy next few weeks, and we'll see you at the beginning of May. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony.